Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday evening. It's a little cool here in Central Texas. Not too bad. It's supposed to be low in the 30s in the morning, but I know you can't see me because I'm sitting in the dark. But this is Rusty 78609, and nobody needs to see me anyway because I'm 74 years old, and I'm not that pretty to look at. But what I want to tell you tonight is, even though this is Beer 30 also, this is Beer 30 Fireside Chat. Friday, November the 15th, I think. Tomorrow's Saturday, obviously. So anyway, here's to you guys. Cheers. I hope your evening is going well and hope you have a great weekend. But let me get started with this first. Das is good. Anyway, for the chat this evening, I thought I'd tell you a true story of growing up in South Texas on a farm, which is an interesting experience in itself. I was born in 1945 on a farm. Anyway, I spent a lot of time driving tractors and feeding hogs and all kinds of stuff like that. But later on in the years, my dad became the manager of the co-op gin in Kennedy, Texas, and that was a big deal. And anyway, every now and then I'd go to the co-op gin, I didn't have a bicycle, so I probably walked into town from our farm. We were about 3 miles out of town, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, I was there at the co-op gin one day, and these old men, like me now, would get together and talk about all kinds of things, and I'd just sit and listen. And one day I was there, and this guy named Bill Scarborough said to the other fellas, he said, "Did you know there's a bounty on coyotes?" And they said, "No." They said, "How much is it?" He said, "It's $5 a head. If you bring in a pair of ears connected with a piece of skin, so you couldn't cheat, you had to have two connected ears from a coyote, then you could make $5. All you had to do is take those ears to the county courthouse and they'd pay you cash." And I thought, boy, bing! $5. Yeah, I'm rich. Because we had coyotes all over our place out there on the farm. And we had a pasture, which was about, from where our house was up on the hill to walk down to the pasture, it seemed like it was about 10 miles. But the truth being, it was probably about, at most a half a mile. And I just thought, well, I could kill me a mess of coyotes, and at $5 a head, I'd be rich. Well, there's more to the story. All I had for a weapon was a single shot 22 made in 1905, and you cocked it like this, but it was a single shot. It just threw out one round, and you could stick another one in. And it only used the long rifles. That, if you know anything about 22s, you had shorts, longs, and long rifles back then. Well, this was long rifles only. Anyway, I had a few rounds. It wasn't like I had enough ammo to go to fight a war. I probably had about maybe, 20 long rifle bullets. And so anyway, my plan was go down to the pasture, find a good tree that I could climb up in, and then as the coyotes came by, I'd pick them off one at a time. Good plan, genius plan. And anyway, went down to the pasture. I knew what time they started howling. Right after dark, man, right after dark. You could hear them everywhere. And I found a good tree. It was about, probably, it seemed like it was 50 feet off the ground, but truth be known, it was probably about 6 feet off the ground, a mesquite tree. I climbed up and got on a mesquite limb, and I got situated with my back against the tree and sitting on that limb so that when the coyotes come by, all I had to do was just pop them. And I was a pretty good shot because, I'd killed rabbits and mice, field mice and stuff, so I knew that this new game was going to be duck soup. Well, right after dark, I'm sitting there, and it was not a moonlit night, unfortunately. And as it got darker, my bravery began to leave pretty damn quick. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, you're up here in this tree, and I could hear coyotes way off in the distance, but I knew they'd be heading that way where I was, because I'd heard them earlier. And so there I am sitting there, And sure enough, coyotes started getting closer and closer. And I'm getting less brave and less brave, less brave. And I'm thinking, man, is there any way I can get out of this tree and make it to the house before they eat me alive? But, I didn't realize back then, coyotes won't attack you. I've never heard of a man being attacked by coyotes. Now, wolves, that's a different story. But coyotes, I don't think so. And anyway, they're just a skinny dog looking thing. Make the craziest noises you've ever heard. So I'm sitting up there, and sure enough, here came a few of them. I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. I could hear them yipping within probably 25 feet of where I was. Well, see, it never occurred to me that at dark you can't see anything. You know what I mean? That's stupid, isn't it? I didn't have a flashlight. I didn't have anything. I'm sitting in a tree with a weapon, fixing to get rich, and I can't see my reward 10 feet from the tree. A great plan, right? It's a true story. And so anyway, I sat there, boy, the cow, they're making all kind of noises, and they're crazy, man. They really get under your skin. So I sat there for a little while, and they kind of went away. It was probably 10 o'clock at night before they got away from there where I was, or most of them. And I started struggling back to the house, and I couldn't see crap. I was stumbling over everything. There was cactus there. I didn't hit any cactus, thank goodness. And but anyway, the end of the story is I made it back to the house, and that was into my coyote bounty hunting career forever. I never even dreamed about it. And chapter 2 of this story is something I've told you about before. I'll tell you this one. You'll like this. I've told it before, and I don't mean to bore y'all with it, but hell, I've got a jillion stories. I just can't remember them. But I'll tell you about my first real official date with a girl. That's what we did back then. Back then, boys dated girls. But anyway, there was this girl. I was probably, I'm going to say, 12 years old. Right at, your hormones are just cooking. You know what I mean? You don't know what to do with them, but you know they're cooking. And you didn't know there's hormones either. Anyway, there was this girl in school. I won't mention her name. That's not a good idea. Anyway, her name was something. I would call her Sharon. Okay, her name was Sharon. And she looked like olive oil. I'm telling you the truth. She looked like olive oil. She was tall, skinny, nothing prettier about her at all. She had a mustache. She had hair on her arms, probably 4 inches long, or it seemed like, and on her legs too, what you could see of them. And anyway, every guy in town thought that was the most beautiful girl they'd ever seen. Hell, we'd fight over her. Anyway, I finally got up enough courage one day. How I did this, I do not know. But I asked her if she'd like to go to a movie. And we had a Rialto theater in Kennedy, Texas. It cost 20 cents. At first it was 12, it went up to 20. And she said, yeah. Or she said yes, or whatever. Whatever a girl says, I took it for yes. Anyway, we made an appointed time. The movie started about 2 p.m. in the afternoon on a Saturday. And so that was the agreement. And anyway, told my mother they had a date, and I was just bragging. Oh, hell, I got a date. I got to do this. I got to do. I'm a busy man. You know what I mean? I got a date. First one in my life. Anyway, I talked to my old buddies. I had one old boy who was experienced in dating. He'd probably had 2. And he said, look, man, here's what you got to do. When you go pick her up and you get walking down to the theater, hold her hand. And I thought, oh, shit. He said, yeah, you got to do that. You got to hold her hand, man. That's the first move. So, and he said, then when you get in the theater, when you sit down, put your arm around her. And I thought, shit, how am I going to do that? Anyway, I'm planting all this stuff in my ignorant mind. Anyway, so the time came, at that time, we lived out in the country, but my grandmother only lived about 4 blocks from where this girl lived. So my mother dropped me off at my grandmother's house, and then from there I made my approach on my date. And I was so damn shy. I knocked on the door, and I guarantee you, if somebody just shouted, I'd have jumped 70 feet. But nobody did. Mother was real nice. Come on in, all this stuff. I didn't have no clue what to do. I just went in and stood there like a stick. I didn't move. Nothing would move. No body part would move. My legs wouldn't work. My arms wouldn't work. My hands wouldn't work. And my mouth wouldn't work either. Everything was broke. Completely paralyzed. And finally, here comes Olive Oil, Sharon, and I thought, oh man, that's the most beautiful girl. And she had on, she had on a blue dress and had little flowers on it. I'm telling you, I remember that. I mean, I thought, boy, that's the most beautiful dress I've ever seen. And it had these little fluffy things on the shoulders. Shit, she owned me from that minute. So away we go to the movie, and we're walking down the street, and I'm thinking, okay, Russ, you got to hold her hand. I mean, we didn't say a word. She didn't say shit. I didn't say shit. You know, we're just walking, and like two sticks. I'm sure she was shy. I don't know if she was shy as I was not. I assume so now. Maybe she wasn't. You know, maybe she's thinking, damn, where'd I find this idiot? Probably was. Anyway, so we're walking down the street there, or you know, we had about, to get to the movie theater from that house was at least 5 blocks, and or maybe more, maybe 6. But anyway, we're walking along there, and I'm thinking, God damn, I need to hold her hand, man. You got to hold her hand. But my hand wouldn't work. You know what I mean? It wouldn't do it. I kept commanding it to reach out and hold her hand, but it wouldn't do crap. So anyway, we made it to the movie, and I had some money, not much, but enough to pay for a movie and soda water and all that crap. And so got the ticket. Well, we didn't get tickets back then. You just went in, and Dolores knew you paid or not. But anyway, so went in and went to the concession stand, and she got her a Coke and popcorn or something, and I got me my usual load: Coke, popcorn, hot dog, and a candy bar. Anyway, I asked her if she wanted anything else. She said no. And so I guess, anyway, we got in the, I forgot that I had to find a place to sit, you know, because usually when I went to the show by myself, I just walked in there and wandered around and sat down. There's no problem. Now I had to figure out how to sit 2 people. Well, fortunately, the theater wasn't crowded, but I was thinking, you know, do I want to go up way close, or I want to sit back? So I figured, well, I picked the middle row, you know, the kind of the midway thing in the center. And we moved in a few seats and sat down. She went first and sat down. Sat down beside her, and, you know, we had all this luggage. I was carrying my food and stuff. So anyway, the movie started. Well, first of all, they had a newsreel and cartoon, and then the movie started. So while all that's going on, we're talking a little bit, and I'm eating and stuff, and time's passing, and then finally the movie started, and I'd finished gobbling everything except the bag stuff was in. And anyway, I don't even remember what the movie was. They may not have played a movie that day, for all I know. That's a true story. I never saw anything. Anyway, I remember my old buddy told me, he said, now put your arm around her. And I'm thinking, I got to put my arm around her. I should put my arm around her. It's kind of like holding hands. I'm telling you, man, every part of my body was malfunctioning. I mean, it wouldn't do shit. I mean, well, there was part of my body doing fine, but my arms and my legs, I could command them to do something, and they would not do it. I don't know why this is all puffy over here on this side. I'm not that heavy. I'm only 175 pounds. Anyway, enough said. It looks that way because I got the camera aimed down, I guess. I don't know. It looks like I got some kind of gout or something over here. But anyway. So I sat there for a little while. The movie's going on, I guess, and I finally had enough courage. I thought, well, hell, I'm not going to put my arm around her, but I'm going to hold her hand. There's a good move, see? I was thinking. So anyway, I put my arm, there was an armrest between my seat and her seat. But she had her arm on it. And I thought, well, shit. When she moves her arm, I'm going to put my arm there, and I checkmate her, then I can reach over and hold her hand. You know, good plan, right? Hell, she held her arm there, and she's eating that popcorn. I thought, damn you, woman, why don't you move your arm so I can hold your hand? Well, finally, she finished her popcorn. She moved her arm, and I made my move. I took over the territory. And but I couldn't make the next move. All I had to do is drop my hand down and hold her hand. So, but I thought, damn, all I got to do is just, did I ever hold her hand? I'll tell you what, I wanted to, and I did touch her hand. I had that much courage. I kind of let my hand hang off that armrest, kind of drift down, you know, I'm kind of like icicles hanging off a roof of a building. And she moved. And she moved her hand, and we were touching hands. I mean, what she was saying, idiot, do it. You know, go for it. Put your hand down here, boy. Well, I didn't. I touched her hand, and it was like an electric shock. But that's enough of this crap. But anyway, that's kind of the beer 30 fireside chat, and I can't think of anything else to say other than a bunch of ignorant stuff, just like I've talked about. But it is Friday evening, and I could talk about a lot of things because there's always something going on in the world you can talk about. But man, the easy life, the simple life, it wasn't that simple. Everybody said, "Oh man, it was so simple back then." It wasn't simple at all. It was not simple at all. It wasn't. It was probably much more difficult in a lot of ways. There was no air conditioning, no real radio, no TV, no internet, no phones, no nothing. And, everything was, it was at a much slower pace. I'll say that. Now, as far as simpler, I'm not too sure. But anyway, guys, from Central Texas, I'll end the video now and let y'all get back to your rat killing. But all I can tell you is, guys, find you something you enjoy doing and do the hell out of it, whatever it happens to be. Because if you don't, as you get older, you go, what in the hell is this thing? Oh, I got a T-shirt on here. That's what it is. Anyway, enjoy your life the best way you can, no matter what it is, because you only got one shot. And you don't realize that when you're 15 or 30 or 45 or 60. And anyway, it's a good life if you make it that way. You're the only one that can do it. And with that in mind, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want. Use the Amazon link if you want to. If you don't want to fool with it, don't. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones, also help you lose weight. It will, because you won't want to eat so much. And then what else? Exercise your body once or twice a day. Take deep breaths. Breathe in really deep through your mouth or your nose, doesn't matter. Hold it for a few seconds, then breathe out slowly. Why? Because that relieves stress, and relieving stress does what? Lowers your blood pressure. Is that good for you? Sure it is. And then what else? Stand guard at the door of your mind. Do not let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. It's your head, your brain, your frontal lobes, and don't let somebody dump trash in it. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, enjoy your life one day at a time, and enjoy your evening, guys. Enjoy your weekends. Life's good. Make it good. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.